You, like many people nowadays, may have been chasing the wrong finish line when it comes to your career and your adulthood. And that is what's turned out to be the retirement lie for so many people here in the 21st century. And it's the reason why 42% of recent retirees go back to work and 28% are clinically depressed. It's not just about the money, it's about life. And the fact that for maybe a year or two, the retirement is like a honeymoon, it's great, but then it becomes the retirement nightmare and leads to those problems and so many others. But I have a better way of avoiding that trap like I did. And instead, finding the way to whatever the heck it is, designing and customizing your future in a way that's ideal for you, whether it looks like traditional retirement or something entirely different. And to make the years and decades ahead of you, yeah, decades ahead of you, some of the most fulfilling of your life. Here's the warning. Retirement honeymoon, retirement nightmare. It's understandable. People think, oh, I'm going to retire and I don't have to do this anymore and I don't have to have this boss or I don't have to go through this and I can do any damn thing I want. And I can play golf and be with the grandkids and travel, which are all wonderful things. But what happens after a period of time is, first of all, that doesn't mean that much to you anymore because you can do it anytime you want to. Life is contrast. You're missing the contrast. But the biggest thing is well, first of all, what I call the Groundhog Day effect, which is like the 33rd straight day where you haven't played golf, you haven't traveled, and even if you're with the grandkids, but you're just not finding enough in life. And here's what you're missing. You're missing purpose. You're missing relevance. You're missing fulfillment. You're missing things that are yours, that you're going after. And the fulfillment and satisfaction from doing that. You're missing meaning in life and even really meaning something in life. And we've always been this way since the beginning of humanity, where up until the 1950s, retirement is a modern day concept. You know, it didn't even start with Social Security, and that was also when people would only live another year or two. But in the 50s, when you had that, and you had the post-war economic boom, and you had pensions, that people started doing it. And back then, maybe it was okay because people still didn't live that much longer, and they were more willing to accept it. But we're in the 21st century now. And since the beginning of humanity, people have been relevant and had purpose and fulfillment until the day they died. Their roles changed, but they had that. So that's how people fall into the trap thinking, wait a minute, I could live another 20, 30, even 40 years after retirement. How many rounds of golf can you play all that? What am I going to do with my life? And let's also even look at the word retirement and the synonyms for it. Withdraw, quit, surrender. Really? I mean, when I discovered this, I thought, well, what do I want? And then I thought, reimagine, reconsider, redesign my life. Because I was like, look at what so many other people were doing in terms of reimagining their life and their future and living some of the best years of their life. And real quickly, I want to say that I'm not knocking traditional retirement. For some people, it's wonderful. And I know some of them. That's great. But a lot of people who are suffering thought the same thing. So you challenge it not only for that, but even if it ends up being like traditional retirement, by taking this approach, you're going to make a few changes that can make all the difference in the world in terms of your traditional retirement being successful. So the very first thing is you throw out the word, you throw out the concept of retirement like it doesn't exist. Because think about it. What are you doing, essentially? You are about to go through a major life change, and you are ideally in a position where you can decide exactly what that is for you, right? You've got a blank sheet of paper to start working from. Instead of what a lot of people do is say, well, I'm just supposed to do the retirement thing. See, I have a playbook here on the shelf. Everybody's got this. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know who came up with it, but this is what I'm supposed to do. Oh, sounds like the default life. You're living a concept that may or may not be right for you in little ways or in totality. So don't start that way. Start it by having that blank sheet of paper, getting rid of the assumptions and presumptions and stereotypes of not only what you're supposed to do in this phase of life, but how you're supposed to be and what it's supposed to be like. And you're going to seriously think about what you want, because what better time in life is there to do this? You're older now, probably conditions are better set up for you to do this, plus you know more about yourself and life and the world in which to design the life that's ideal for you. And oh, by the way, most people are living long, not just longer, but healthier and independent longer into their 90s. So it's like, man, I got a lot of time ahead of me. What am I going to do? Make sure that that's fulfilling and enjoyable and healthy for me. All right, Paul, I'm looking at the blank sheet of paper. What do I put on it? Well, in the first place, you can free form, free flow, and put anything you want on it. Even what do you like? What do you not like? What are you good at? What are you not good at? What are your concerns? What are your fears? That's fine. But here are two big ones that I want you to do. The first one is, what do you value in life that you have to have in your life, that you may have now and you want to perpetuate or improve or elevate, or that's missing? Now, what I mean by this isn't like, well, I value integrity and honesty. No, not those moral things. I mean, what do you want and need in life? You as a person, those things that turn you on, that give your life meaning, they're fulfilling and enjoyable. I'll give you a quick example. I learned this exercise, which was to identify some of the things that you value in life. And the exercise is that, you take a deep breath, quiet place, kind of clear your head, and then you think of a moment in your life when you thought that everything was just great, that life was going fantastic for you in so many different ways. And the point of it is that you then go back to that moment and that place and time, and you start looking around and you're thinking, what is it about this that I love and is making it this moment? Those are the things that you value. And so when I did this exercise, at first I thought I couldn't think of anything. I thought, oh my God, I've never had that moment in my life. But then it popped into my head. And very briefly, as brief as I can make it, it was the 1984 caucuses in Iowa. And I was an anchor reporter at WHO-TV. And what I had done is, months before, with a new news director coming in, I had come up with this big plan to totally transform our coverage and elevate it way beyond the competition. And I did it. So that night I had this moment. It was during a commercial break, and I was anchoring from that ballroom, and we were anchoring from the studio, and we had other remotes. And I set up this anchor desk, and I'm there with my mentor, George Lefty Mills, who had covered Iowa politics for longer than I was alive. And we took a commercial break, and I stood up and lit a cigarette. I was doing that back then, and you could do it in a ballroom. And I looked around, and it was a satisfying moment, because it was so much of what I valued. I valued, like my father, being incredibly innovative, forward-thinking, change the rules for the better, and I pulled it off beautifully. The competition was pissed off. They didn't see it coming. And I also looked over and I saw my college girlfriend, who I'm still with, who I'd gotten in to the ballroom with credentials, and a friend of ours from college who's still a friend. And I was thinking about my relationship and my friends and everything else. It just was cavalcade. These were things that I valued. Jump ahead to when I was staring at my blank sheet of paper, and I realized that when I changed out of TV news, because I thought it went to hell back then, what I was doing, even though I was successful at it, what I valued, those things that I valued were missing. Because also as a reporter, I thought I was making a difference by telling people what they needed to know. Because back then, I was giving honest news, not the BS that we've got now. So what is it you value? And you have to revisit this a few times, but what is it you really value in life that therefore you're going to need in your next iteration? Okay, and then the second thing is the meaning part of it, which is so foundational and fundamental. When you boil it down, that's ultimately what we all need, is meaning in life, and life meaning something to us. And so that's the purpose and relevance, fulfillment, meaning, making a difference, an impact. And it's starting to write down, and this can maybe take a little bit more work, a little bit more time, a few more passes at it, but it's so critical because you see what we're doing here. Number one, you're doing more than 99% of the other people, is that you're really thinking about it. You're really thinking about, what do I want this life to look like, be like, and feel like? Assuming I've got another 30, 40 years of life left, or even 20, or even 10. Most people don't do that. And you're not starting by trying to pick something, because how can you pick the right thing if you don't have this foundational information? You see, this is really getting you going greatly. Now, I'm going to go ahead and mention another video I did, and actually free PDF download, that's taking what's called the Wheel of Life, which is usually just an assessment of where you are in life and the different areas: health, relationships, income, career, fun, whatever, and doing an assessment of where you are now. But I came up with a process to take it further than that, to say, okay, in each one of these areas, on a 1 to 10 level, where do I want it to be? And what does that look like and feel like? And what is that like? And how am I going to get there? You see what we're doing here? We're laying the right foundation for you to identify what you really need and want in life, so that you can have it in whatever way, shape, or form that turns out to be. So here's the result of doing all of that. You're not falling into a trap. You're not following the default life and going, oh my goodness, that wasn't right for me. Go figure, come on. And you're really starting with the depth and the basic fundamental things that we need in life, that then, you're going to go from looking at life like this, like through a pinhole, to the wide expanse of possibilities that are right for you. And you're going to have that foundation to dial it in and adapt and change and everything else that you want. You're not going to fall into a trap. You've taken ownership, and you're going to find the new way forward that's right for you, because you designed it with great knowledge and insight for you. Because it's about making this next phase of life your turn on your terms.